Hey, welcome back to the Naval News, everybody. We have a great update for you, but let's begin with something that happened recently this week with the Kutznetzov. She's been in dry dock for 5 years, and she's scheduled to return to sea sometime in 2024, but she recently had a fire and is probably going to be in dry dock a little bit longer than scheduled. This is not uncommon. Fires happen in shipyards all the time. This fire was quickly contained. It didn't spread out of control like some navies. The American Navy, looking at you. And they managed to save this ship, the only aircraft carrier in the Russian Navy fleet. Now, look at this dry dock. I want you to take a look at the state of the Russian infrastructure. This is really, really sad to look at. This ship has a great history, being built by Ukraine, by the way, during the Soviet Union era, when Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union as I guess a satellite state or whatever they called it. So she was built in 1982, commissioned in 1985. She served out of the Northern Fleet for the majority of her life, if not all of it, and but didn't go to sea very much. I had a couple opportunities in my career to maybe get a couple quick looks at her, but often, more times than not, she wouldn't even leave port just because of all the problems she had, primarily with her engine system. But this is the Kuznetsov. This picture's a little bit older, well before the fire that happened this past week. But I thought it would be a great contrast in comparison to what our actual topic is today, and that is this. This is the Kuznetsov sister ship called the Lianyang now, or Lianying. Yeah, Lianying serves with the PLAN. That's the Chinese Navy. And you can see how much better, one, their facilities are, and how much better they take care of their ship. And this ship is actually at sea right now. And many of you have asked me to comment on this, so I would like to cover exactly what is going on in the Philippine Sea as China projects a carrier aviation fleet past the first island chain. This is a significant event in Chinese naval power, showing that they can operate far away from home port for an extended period of time, and has extremely capable anti-ship capability with this fleet that we're going to go over here. Here you can see there's two Type 55 destroyers, arguably the best destroyer in the Chinese fleet, or I'd say inarguably. They also have a Type 052 Delta, which is the subject of next month's ship brief, if you want to take a look at that on January 2nd, that's coming out. And then there's a fast support supply ship there at the bottom, and a frigate up there at the top. And we're going to go over these individually. Where is she operating? Well, the last update I had was approximately this position here in the Philippine Sea. She's been transiting through the first island chain a couple times, but she's been at sea now for over a week, and is demonstrating that she can sustain power projection for a long period of time, not just a simple day cruise around Taiwan. I should mention, while I'm thinking about it here, she is being supported by land-based long-range bombers, the H-6. They're flying out of China to the fleet and back, so providing some aerial support along with the operations of the J-15. The Lianyang can carry 24 of these twin-engine, multi-role, all-weather fighter aircraft. And she can do approximately 30 knots. That speed has probably changed because the ship is very old. It could be a little bit less than 30 knots, but the books say, Jane's fighting ship says that she's at 30 knots. So that's where we're giving credit. This is the ship that's at sea right now in the Philippine Sea. Now, supporting her is two Type 55 055 destroyers. This is the Ashan here. And I thought we'd go over some of her armaments. We're going to work bow, which is the front, to stern. And you can see there, the very first thing is that large gun. That is a 130 millimeter naval gun. Very large. And right behind that, that you really can't see from this profile picture, is a 112 VLS cells. Now those are broken up. There's one batch forward and some VLL cells back aft just forward of the hangar, so it is broken up into two different parts, but 112 total that can carry the HHQ-9 SAM, which is a long-range surface-to-air missile, roughly based on the Russian S-300F. That's the same one that the Moskva in the Slava-class uses. It's the naval variant of the land-based S-300 as well. It's a very capable long-range, greater than 100 kilometers, missile, but it has a limitation. It cannot shoot down sea skimming missiles. It's very good at shooting down things that are above, low altitude, airplanes, helicopters, bombers, anything long range, like any aircraft essentially. It's very good at attacking those, but it will not defend this ship from a sea skimming missile attack, as we saw with the Moskva recently, even though that situation was much more complicated by mechanical and equipment failures. Assuming the equipment even worked, this missile's not designed to take out those sea skimming missiles. Now, this VLS system can carry more than one kind of missile, and this is a very good capability for China because they can go to sea with different loadouts, and you simply don't know how many of what they have. So another type of missile they have is the YJ-18 anti-ship missile, and you see the picture of it here. And this is a very capable long-range anti-ship missile. Now, this missile has basically two phases of its attack. It has its cruise phase, where it transits to its target. It can attack ships and land targets, but ships primarily in this case, in greater than 500 kilometers. And it has a terminal boost phase, which means it has, after it's launched with its solid rocket booster motor you see there, that booster falls off. It cruises out to its initial point or terminal point where it looks for its target. And when it has its target, it engages a second solid rocket booster motor that accelerates it from subsonic speeds, 0.9, 0.8 Mach, to approximately 3 times the speed of sound, Mach 3 at sea level, which is very fast. And that change in delta, that change in speed, makes this missile very difficult to defeat by our point defense systems, and of any Navy, not just the United States Navy. Now, that change in speed, that rapid ramp up, is not always consistent, which complicates the engagement. So while we certainly can defeat these missiles at long range as they fly over 500 kilometers towards their target at sea skimming level, assuming we can even detect them to get targeting data on them, the moment they hit that terminal phase, which I would guess at about maybe 10 kilometers roughly, and that's just my opinion, it then rapidly ramps up. To give you an idea of what this is like, imagine a crew member on a lookout, looking on the horizon. He sees this missile. About the same time that he sees the missile, because of its extreme speed, is the same moment that it's exploding under his feet. It's going to go from horizon to ship in almost an instant. It's going to appear to be an instant to the lookout. And that's why it's so difficult for these automated systems, these point defense systems, to engage it. Because while it's doing this rapid acceleration, it's also a little inconsistent. So trying to get a bullet on this from like a Sea Whiz system, or, even your rolling airframe missile is going to be very difficult to do. You're going to have a rapid reaction time. Systems are going to have to be ready for this attack to be coming to hope to even engage it. And if there's more than one, how are you going to solve that issue? This is a very capable anti-ship missile that everyone should remember the name of. It's the YJ-18. They call it the Eagle Strike, the Chinese do. And but also in this VLS, they can shoot the CJ-10 land attack missile, and they also have a missile-launched torpedo, and they can mix and match just about any number of those into the Type 55. On the back there, you see the pivot launcher of a HHQ-10. That's a close-in weapon system designed to shoot down any missiles that might get through the defense of the fleet. It's a close-in weapon surface-to-air missile designed to shoot down low-flying aircraft or sea-skimming missiles. HHQ-10 there above the hangar. And this is the Type 055, I think, the most capable destroyer in the Chinese fleet, the PLAN. And she has 2 of them. This is the Wuks. All right, let's continue on to the Type 052 Batch 2. This is the anti-submarine warfare batch of the 052. Delta. It has the 130mm gun on the front. It has also a VLS system, but a little bit less. It has 32 cells total forward and 32 cells aft, total of 64. It has Sea Whiz point defense and that HHQ surface-to-air missile point defense, as well as you see decoy launchers there. There are 1 of these with the fleet right now. That's also, like I said, the subject of our most recent ship brief. And here we have the Type 054 4 Alpha guided missile frigate. She has 32 cells VLS. So this VLS count is getting very high. And one of the metrics we have in the United States Navy is by VLS capability. And this entire fleet, all VLS included, are 288 cells. So that is a significant amount of firepower at sea on an extended, deployment, not just a short trip with carrier aviation. This is a big step. People need to understand this. This is a really large, a great moment for the PLAN and the Chinese people. They have tried to get to this point since, I think, the 1990s when they first announced it, but they really stepped up in 2012. And here they are now in 2022, about to be 2023, putting a lot of power at sea past the first island chain. So back to this ship, it does have a 76 millimeter dual purpose naval gun. Like I said, the 32 cell VLS shoots an assortment of missiles like the HQ-16 surface to air missile. The HQ-16 comes in 2 variants. You have a 40 kilometer variant and a 60 kilometer variant, but it's the same missile, just two different mods, one a little bit longer range. And they also have that missile launched ASROC, if you will, a missile launched torpedo for going after submarines, because this is a submarine hunter. It also has the helicopter on the back to assist with that, as well as 2x4 box launchers amidships, and those are the YJ-83 anti-ship missiles. Those are the ones that have performances like the American Harpoon or the French Exocet. It's a subsonic cruise missile from start to finish. It doesn't have that boost that the other ship has. That makes it very terrifying. The range on this missile, anti-ship missile, is about 180 kilometers, and it does have a 30 millimeter close-in weapon system there to help for point defense purposes. And supplying these ships, keeping them at sea for a longer period of time, is this fast support ship. As you can see here, it carries all the supplies that it needs, including fuel and munitions, food, fresh water, you name it. This ship is with them to support them. So this is the Chinese fleet at sea right now, and it is, I think, a big moment in Chinese naval history, and that they can sustain this type of American-esque firepower away from their own waters for an extended period of time. So what can I say? Congratulations on achieving this goal, China. You've worked hard for this, and now they're demonstrating their power. And this is what we have to deal with now. We have to recognize this type of capability in the Western Pacific. All right. So something that came out right as I was editing this video, getting ready to put it up, is Russia decided that it wanted to go to sea as well in the Western Pacific, and they're now working with this Chinese fleet as of today, or this week, I should say. Here we have the Varyag, which is a a Slava-class, like the Moskva was, patrolling. It's a cruiser, built during the Cold War. It's older. I don't know how much equipment on this ship actually works, but we'll give it the benefit of the doubt, even though they do not deserve that. And they have the upgraded and updated Udaloy-class. This is the Marshal Shaposhnikov, which is a submarine hunter as well. It has very powerful horse-jaw sonar on it. And you can see on the bow, where there is only one gun now, there used to be 2. Well, behind that gun, you see that superstructure. That's a VLS. That's where they can carry additional anti-ship, land attack, and even anti-submarine weapons as well. So these two have joined it. They also brought along a couple corvettes with them, and arguably, because the corvettes are newer, perhaps they're more capable than these ships, right? I'll let you guys debate that stuff, Russian capability, in the chat. From what we've seen performance-wise, the Russian Navy is not nearly as capable as we've been giving them credit. But here they are deploying and working with the PLAN in the Western Pacific. So, and that's your naval news update for today. Don't forget, this is a real capability. China has been working for decades to get to this point, and they are here now. They make over 200,000 tons of warships a year. That's approximately the size of the entire French Navy, but they're doing it every year, and they show no signs of slowing down. This this Chinese Navy, this PLAN, is going to continue to grow in power and capability, and they're getting experience at sea now. So we can't use the excuse here in the United States anymore that, well, they're not as experienced as our sailors are. They're becoming very experienced every single day. And it's something that we should pay attention to and perhaps respect a little more in the Western Pacific, in that region. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. I look forward to seeing your comments, especially about Russian capabilities. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.